Welcome to this edition of the Democracy on Air GPF intern interview. I am Shuaib Ahmed, Technology Director for Democracy on Air. Tonight, we'll be interviewing Jordan Toledo, a GPF intern with Democracy on Air for the spring 2021 semester. Welcome, Jordan.
Hi, Shuaib. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to answer some questions.
That's wonderful. My first question for you tonight is, how did you become interested in global politics?
It's a great question. So I think that it all started for me personally was the 2016 election. It was the United States presidential election. And I think that was the turning point for a lot of students from ages like 18 to 21 when they first became interested in politics as a whole, thinking, wow, these policies, these candidates actually will affect me growing up. So that's when my first initial interest in politics began. But the global politics began when I started studying abroad in Spain my freshman year of college. And I went abroad and I learned about international law, but it was really interesting to understand that there was a global perspective and a different perspective other countries take on politics. And one of my professors abroad had told me that with the way that our globalization is going, we're not going to be country citizens much longer. We're going to be global citizens. So getting that interest and knowledge in global politics as soon as possible really was in the best interest of myself as a student, but also my best interest as just a global citizen. So that's kind of really when my passion and my interest in that knowledge of global politics was peaked, was in 2018, I think.
That's wonderful. And what excites you the most about Democracy on Air's mission?
Democracy on Air's mission, giving just pure information, nonpartisan information to local communities. I specifically worked with Virginia on Air, and myself being an out-of-state student, I always was like, I don't need to know this information. I don't need to know what House and Senate bills got passed in Virginia because this doesn't affect me. But I've been living in Virginia for 3 years, going to college here, and you've come to realize how much information you really do need to know. And it really starts this dialogue. I have, college students my age being like, how do I, is my permit, renewed or this? And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I have a House bill that just got passed that I know about that says your permit can go on for another year. Like it's a true nonpartisan access to information, which I think is really important to open that dialogue for young voters and for, young people in the local community to get more involved in local politics.
Great. You've had the opportunity this semester to learn the process of aircasting. Why do you think committee aircasts are so important for the broader public?
So I think that, in a day and age of social media and, this internet fame, I think that politicians have kind of been put on this level almost of, celebrity status. And I think opening a dialogue of just, an average student like myself talking to a politician kind of gives a personification factor, a relatable factor, knowing that these politicians are truly in their job to represent people like us, to represent people that, elected them. So opening that conversation and making it seem like this is their job to talk to us, to share more about what they're going to do in office with just someone that's a college student, with just someone that is interested in local politics. I think that really adds a personification factor to politicians and kind of makes us realize that this is their job to represent us, not to be a figurehead or a status, but to make the conversation more local, more relatable. And so I think that's what is so important and dire about aircasts is it's just opening a conversation about your elected official, which is super important for young voters to realize this isn't someone you just follow on Instagram. This is someone who has your best interests. So they're very, very informational and very encouraging for young local voters.
And finally, what was your favorite Magnify project this past semester?
My favorite Magnify project was becoming involved in student government. I have never, ever been interested in politics. I know that seems ironic because I study it, but I had never been interested in being a politician myself. But it's really interesting to look at it from the side of a politician. You know, you elect an official and you're expecting processes and policies to change immediately. But being on that side of politics, you realize the bureaucratic system takes a very long time, and it shows a deep appreciation for how local, international, national government and politics work. So, you know, this semester I'm now interviewing to become a part of the executive cabinet of my college because I was just interested in that bureaucratic system and how looking at the other side of politics will show you how, you know, local politics will work. And so it was a way for me to involve myself in the George Mason community, but also the Fairfax community. And I think that was really important. And I loved that I was encouraged by Magnify to get more involved.
Great answers. It's been a pleasure interviewing you tonight. And thank you for your unwavering commitment to Democracy on Air this past semester. And we're looking forward to seeing all the great things you'll accomplish going forward.
Thank you so much, Shuaib.